Hello, everyone. Good to see you. I just wanted to congratulate once again Travis Tyler, who's from Meridian, Kansas, for catching over 40 swarms this year and participating in the Swarm Rustler Championship, and everybody that that participated in the championship. It was I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope you guys did as well. And just wanted to show that off again, that I mailed that out today, so he should be getting it in the next few days. So anyway, let me stop sharing that and get my big ugly mug back on here, and hope everyone's doing good this evening. I'm still trying to adjust this time thing. So it's interesting. Every time you switch jobs, takes you a little bit of time to get reacclimated to what's going on. But at any rate, it's going. So we're enjoying that, and getting the guns back from doing all the physical labor. But did go out in the bees for a little while today, and all the pollen patties gone. So everybody that was worried about hive beetles in the pollen patties, that didn't happen. Not only did they eat all the pollen patty, they ate all the appy tablets that were on there as well. So a couple of my hives did have beetles in them, so I am going to go about probably adding Swiffer sheets to try to knock them down. But they sequester them to the tops of the frames in the upper box typically, which doesn't have anything near it. So technically they're not in the brood chamber, they're up, but I need to just eliminate them. And the ones that had a little bit of tablet, not as many beetles. So I don't know if it's something that the appy tablet, because of the scent, keeps them out, and then as soon as that tablet's gone, they come back. I don't know. But I just know that when it has a tablet on it, they are much better as far as beetles. And I had a couple of photos here. Let me see if I can bring those up. Well, where are they? Oh, here they are. Let me see. Let's show that. Pop that over there. They're not Ian Stepler boxes of bees, but they are boxes of bees nonetheless. Just doing a couple little things here. See if I can zoom that in. And they look good, is the saying. My bees look really good. So we're gonna hope everything goes good, but they've consumed the patty and the tablet off of it. They're looking good. What can you say? Just having a decent day. This box was really calm. There was no bees flying up. They weren't doing anything. A little bit of pollen coming in. I'm starting to see some goldenrod starting to really turn yellow up the road here. So maybe that's going to be something that's going to be good for them soon. And there is a little bit of pollen coming in. So not too bad. What I didn't notice was an overwhelming amount of feed in the colony. So I'm going to have to, between tomorrow and Sunday, try to get feed on all these colonies and see. I don't know. I've never really fed straight 2-to-1 syrup. I don't know if that's what I want to do, or if I want to give them thinner syrup. I don't know. Will it be too many bees in it? Well, you'll find that most of the older bees will hang on the front of the box. a lot of people, especially like up in Canada, they do that. They shake all the bees down into one box and make it work that way. So anyway, let me throw out this invite code. Give me a second here. And uh-oh. Trying to get this photo off the screen over here so I can share that out. All right. Oh, that ain't working very well. All right, hold on. Let's see if I can close that up. There we go. There's the link. And let me see. I've had Pro Suite this year and can't believe the results. Bees started drawing combs second week in September in Ohio. Dean, did you dilute that syrup, or you just did straight Pro Suite? Because I think Pro Suite's more of a 2-to-1. More of a 2-to-1. Hey, Tom. I'm glad your surgery went well and you're back up and kicking with us here. We got the link pinned up right up there if anyone's interested in come in. Pro Suite is expensive. It's pretty expensive. I've got syrup out there. I'm gonna throw it on them, and it's thick too. So maybe I just go straight away, throw some thick on there. The pain block is over, and now in good pain. Good pain. Is there a thing? Is there a thing called good pain? Let me see. Where is Charles in charge? He's probably in here somewhere. Throw that on. Throw Charlie a link there. Let me see. Trying to get. All right, guys, it's going to be a short stream if nobody joins in tonight. You know how I feel about talking to the chat box. $10 a gallon? I got to mute this too. Sorry. Facebook notification. They sent out a everyone keep Ian in your prayers. He's going through a family thing right now, so keep Ian Stepler in your prayers. And I don't want to tell his business, but he could use it right now probably. Hey, look who we got. Joseph.
What's up?
Nothing, man. It's that in between winter and second summer.
Yeah.
So we were 80 degrees today, and it rained it rained in the morning, then it cleared up in the afternoon. Yeah. So
it's rained a little bit here. It rained a little last night, yesterday, and it tried to rain again today, but it just kind of went away. I wouldn't care if it showered a little bit every day around here, because it don't take long to get dusty after a good rain.
Oh yeah. Everything gets muddy and dusty around here too. And this time of year, we're starting to get a few pine needles starting to fall, and when it rains, little buds and stuff fall off the trees and leaves and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. You know, you was talking about the 2-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
I never have actually done a whole lot of 2-to-1. I would always do like 1.5-to-1, and I'd get told by people, "Oh, you need 2-to-1, or they're gonna do this or do that," you know. But I heard Bob Benny say he favors 1.5-to-1.
A little bit thinner, huh?
Yeah, it just makes things easier to pump. But
well, I don't have one of them
I'm good.
fancy pumps.
I've always done good with 2.5, 1.5-to-1. So
Do you think they would draw some comb? They might draw some comb on
well,
goldenrod and buckwheat. Just depends how strong the flow is.
yeah, I never have, not here. I never have seen much comb get drewed around here. And I've
Well, I
never
think
tried to make them, even using like thinner syrup maybe to try to make them draw. I just never could.
I think it was via honeybees that says they draw about a box of comb out after the flow by feeding them up.
That's cool.
But I'm the
I
same
guess I
way.
need to get brave enough to try.
I can't hardly get them to draw comb in the spring. They just do what they want to do most of the time. So it's I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling optimistic. I mean, this has been one of those years that I've been a little bit more hands off with my bees than in the past, where I was diligently going in every week, or need to go back in that colony and need to go back in that colony. So I've just kind of
So
let them be.
you about to get in that Joey Road and just
Yep.
kind of like
Put a honey box on them in the spring and let them go, and then put a honey box on them.
Yeah.
And if I get it dead out or something, just split back to them and let them make a new queen and let them go. You know, so I have to get out to my out yard. I haven't been out there in since the last time I did a video, so probably 2 weeks now over there.
How far away from you is it? Is that out yard?
6.5 miles.
Yeah.
So it's not that far. Just far enough.
Yeah.
But it's different. I'm curious. I need to put feed on them too. But it's like stuff I do in my home yard here, I haven't done out there, right? Like I've put the appy tablets on, but I didn't put any pollen patty on or anything like that like I did here. Oh, you're welcome, David. I try to get those out as quick as possible. As soon as they come in, I try to turn them right around. Orders had a few people ordering the appy tablets right now, so it's I was surprised that all those tablets were gone and the pollen patty that I put in there. I put a half a pound on all those colonies out there. There's the bionic man himself.
I'm alive.
Hey,
you
Tom.
feeling? They got you all doped up on that pain medicine?
Yeah, oxycodone. And I had a knee block painkiller that I knew was going to end sometime at lunchtime, early afternoon. Whoa.
Did it
Yeah.
dies off, or you got to take that every day, or?
Oxycodone I take every 4 to 6 hours. But
So the only surgery you get a 12-step program with when you're done.
Yeah. Who knows? I got a whole bottle of pills, a bunch of them. I think I got 2 weeks worth.
Well, you should feel good all the way up to day 15.
Right now, I can't tell the difference if I take it or don't take it.
I need Joey Rawls to make me a heated box for heating buckets of honey. I got one. Refrigerator.
There it is.
I had a lady call me and said she thought about me when I told her that I had to go to the warming box to get her a bottle of honey out one time. She called me up like 6 months later and said, "Hey, I got this old refrigerator I'm getting ready to get rid of. If you want it, you can come get it, and I won't charge you anything for it." And I said, "I would love to do that. However, I have nowhere to put it." So I didn't end up getting that one. Let's see. Chat's streaming by there pretty fast.
Yeah, I know it's hard to keep up with.
I'm not even trying tonight.
And I need to get new glasses because my older glasses are. I gotta concentrate on it. Let me see. Thank you. I just received my tablets yesterday. And now you suggest one tablet per box of bees. Yep. And should I stop feeding or can I continue feeding? Charlie, you can continue to feed. They just don't expect them to do much with the tablet while the feed's on there. It won't hurt anything, but mine ate theirs in 2 weeks, which is surprising because that's faster than they should have. They ate quick though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try a Vivo Sun grow tent as a honey warmer. I wonder if that'll work. One of those collapsible grow tents. Might, if it keeps the temperature in there. That's the main thing, right?
What did you call it?
He called it a Vivo Sun grow tent. That's what Darren called it. I know you use that for growing your tomatoes. That's not for anything else you're growing up there. Pennsylvania. I don't know if it's even legal in Pennsylvania like that. Oh, I have to give you your props too, though, Joey. LSU pulled it out. I thought my Gamecocks were going to take them to the woodshed the other night, and they came back on them. So LSU was victorious.
Somebody told me they were. I didn't even watch the game.
I watched the game, and it was exciting in the beginning for me. They jumped out 17-0 lead. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a welcome change. And then slowly LSU just came back in it. But every time LSU got ahead, Carolina came back on them and took the lead back, and then just missed a field goal to tie it up with time expiring. So it was a good game. If I'm going to lose a game, that's the kind of game I like to lose. At least they look presentable. They didn't look all crazy. Roll Tide, not another one of them over there.
Sounds like it.
We got to play them this year too.
Who said that?
Brittany Sherrill.
Well, I'm the Ohio State Buckeye.
I got a piece. I got a piece of parchment with them on it.
Actually, I'm more of a UC fan, University of Cincinnati.
Bearcats.
I went to school there.
My school doesn't have a football team. My college, so.
All right, hey Bob and Joey, I'm gonna jump back off because I got to elevate my leg. Got a nice block on it now.
Mine were elevated to come on this beach at. I was snoozing. Took a 2-hour nap. Could have took about a
10-hour nap. That's what I need to do.
Just get you a chair there and elevate. We don't have to see.
I do. I got a recliner that lays flat, and I put a couple pillows underneath it, so I'm good to go.
Still experimenting with your secret bee defense.
I'm still experimenting, but my experiment's put on hold for quite a few weeks, and then it's going to be winter time, so it was just bad timing on my end.
I got notifications
and I had Todd help me out in his area because I was concerned about his where he is, and the scientists I talked to that had no clue thought I was correct, and then kind of tested it. What I was correct. It's amazing how much the scientists don't know.
Well, if they cure it, man, who's going to buy all these mite treatments? Yeah. Tom's working on a super secret sauce that we don't know about.
Yeah, actually, I don't. I go after the mite, the female mite, stopping the mite from reproduction.
It's like
So
birth control for mites.
if they can't reproduce, they can't make anymore,
That's true.
and they don't go into cells because they only go into cells to reproduce. So when you hit them with oxalic acid vapor, it kills 98, 99%.
Huh.
Pretty
Interesting.
simple concept.
Let's see.
I'm surprised how much they don't know about the mites and don't know what goes on inside of a beehive.
Let me see.
The scientist. Bob
Carl,
Beanie knew.
Carl
He
says
thought I was on the right,
they're
he
having
thought
a
I was on the right track.
great goldenrod. You talked to Bob?
Last year I did, yeah, about it. So, all right, I'm jumping off, get on my chair and raise up my leg.
All right. Well, glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, give me about a week and a half, about 2 more weeks, I'll be real good. I should be good.
Awesome.
All right, see ya.
All right. Have a good one.
See you later.
I am probably not going to Nobby in January. Couple of reasons. Well, the main reason is I just started a job, but he's been generous because he's given me 2 weeks of vacation right out of the gate, so I don't have to worry about that. But gosh, by the time, I just don't know financially if by that time I'll be good to go or not. So we'll see. I enjoy going to the conferences. It's just what, it's $300 for the tickets roughly. If I get 2 of them, then a hotel, then gas, then food, and I have to buy a ton of stuff to have enough discounts to recoup that, right?
Yeah, you gotta buy enough to make it pay for itself.
Mm-hmm. And if you're buying enough and you're just breaking even, so if it costs you, I don't know, let's say, I'll be generous. So 3 days, that's going to be at least what, $350 plus on hotel probably. $300, so that's $650. Let's say gas another couple $100, so that's $850. Let's say $1,000. I'd have to save $1,000 in purchases, which means I have to spend more money, right? So right now it's just not in the plans.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, so you need to spend 10K. Yeah, I don't even. I could spend 10. That's the problem. I get there and it's like I had one of those automatic fill machines from Hive Life before Hilco even had theirs. That thing cost me $1,500 when I bought it. I was like, oh, I need that. You know how many times I've used that thing? Once. One time. And the only reason I used it was to do a video on it, to show people how it worked.
Huh.
And because that machine is a redundancy for me. So I've got that pneumatic bottling valve on my bottling tank. So for me to have to use that other machine with the scale, by the time I get the hose and prime it out of the bucket and start using that machine, then have to clean it up, I might as well just use my bottling tank with the foot pedal to pump it into the jars. So I've only used it one time. I think the truck. You think the truck or you take the truck? You think the truck to spending at Nobby is to the trick. Okay, to pre-buy what you need, not impulse buy. Yeah, well that's the thing though, right? You pre-buy it and then you get there and you impulse buy as well. Oh, I didn't see this on pre-order. Let me get this. So
see, now what gets me on that, I don't know about anybody else in here, but I do. All of mine is, I run my hobby just like a business.
Mhm.
Anything I buy, it's reported, and everything that I spend is a write-off. And last year, what I pre-bought for Nobby, I really wanted to try to get it put on this year, but I had to pre-buy it last year. So I had already had enough deductions last year to meet what I needed to meet, but I ended up putting what I wanted to put this year.
I did see Rossman Apiaries has deep boxes for $9 if you pre-order them for Nobby.
Yeah,
So that's not a bad deal.
pretty cheap.
Let me see. I like to pre-impulse buy.
Well, it
It'd
kind
be
of,
my luck. I bought $10,000 worth of stuff at Nobby, and then I had something catastrophic happen, and because I made all those purchases at Nobby,
to me, the impulse buying is good for me, but I don't like it when my wife does it.
right. I know what you mean.
And she don't like it when I do it.
I know what you mean on that one. But every year, I need frames, right? I need frames and
Well, that's a given. The frames and boxes,
boxes every year.
lids and bottoms, frames and boxes, lids and bottoms.
And someone asked me where I got the lid, the gray lid for the gray plastic lid. I have to say that that I have out in the out yard there. I'm sure, Tom. I'm sure that Mamet's going to be there. He goes to just about every show. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Oh, I'm going over to." I think he went down to Louisiana for their beekeeping conference, and he went to Tennessee, and he's been to Virginia. He goes all over the place having a booth. So, but hate to pay for shipping. I understand. I have done shipping specials. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a shipping special coming up here. The tablets, I mean, are they perfect? No. Some of the packaging breaks open in shipping. It just happens because it's not a very rigid packaging. If you use them correctly, they work correctly.
Well, when you say breaks open, is it
Well, there
is just like little chunks?
No. The plastic, it's got a plastic tray that they're in, and then it's got a clear like cellophane top that's heat sealed on the top of it, and that seal comes off of there.
Oh, the seal.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that, buddy. You're awesome. You still traveling the world, or are you back in New York now? We've got let me see. You know what? Let me are any of you subscribed to Ian's member section? I'll take that as a no. Let's see. See if I can find. How do I get to the member section? Oh, members only. Okay. Oh, there's Todd from Loma Vista here.
There he is.
Cooking his dinner.
It's Tuesday. I'm cooking and I have my clothes on. So whatever you heard, that's fake news. It's just fake news.
All right. Well, hold on. Doggone it. Always mute my tab so I don't get the feedback here. So if you don't know, you will know that Ian's been.
I have a sticky board in the bottom. Let's see what we
uses some tablets, A-tabs. This is on his members area.
Oh, they're not liking that.
So he had some high mite colonies he's been.
So I'm not going to, if there's mites on here, I'm not going to take them off because I want to give like a week of drop if there's going to be any efficacy from this. Oh, there's mites down there. Okay.
18 hours.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9.
Oh,
1, 2.
and this is after a treatment.
202 mites in less than 24 hours here. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to slip this back in. I have 2 more in this yard. I want to see if there's the same drop here. Now this, I could do the math here. I can't do my mental math. It's too early in the morning, but 2%. Let's say there's 30,000 bees in there, so it should roughly be 3,000 mites lingering within this nest right now, if I got my math right, and I dropped 100.
So 3.5% mite drop in 18 hours.
Did was he putting these on hives that were already treated with Dapabar?
I don't know.
I'm going to do one more just because I have to get going here. Harvest field is about to start.
So if you're not a subscriber to Ian's
colony.
membership area, he does do videos
On the screen. Oh,
specifically for his members.
One, 2, 5, 6, or 7. 27 in that one.
1% drop in 1% drop in 18 hours, but it was only 4% to begin with.
So this one shook 21. So quite a bit more.
Look, cluster. It looks like a swarm on the box. See that? Right there. Notice he's got feed buckets on it too. So about the question.
These stickies are expensive, but they're sure useful. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Look at all the debris in just 18 hours.
60, 1, 61.
2%
Randy
might
said
drop.
that was after Apivar.
No, Appy tablets.
Randy said that was after the Apivar treatment.
Oh, okay. He did Apivar first.
I guess that's what I just assumed that's what he meant.
So wait, he used Apivar and it still had 10% mites in it.
That is as good a mite drop as I find with oxalic acid vapor. So, the question is, how much more will drop? So the whole idea behind the Appy tablet is the consumption of the tablet. As they consume that tablet,
Yeah, I hope his gloves don't melt off.
Yeah, he ought not be touching that like that.
Oh,
huh?
look. It doesn't even look like they touched it.
It might melt a hive tool too.
You know, I watch him work them bees. Mine would be all in the air if I'd done that. Jerk that thing open like that.
With the wind blowing like that too?
Yeah,
it's after
he just makes it look too daggum easy.
hardly 24 hours. I put it in yesterday at 2 o'clock, and it's the next morning at 8:30.
I got to
2 o'clock in the afternoon to 8:30 in the morning.
Take that for what it's worth.
And he said that that's as good a drop as he gets with OA.
I want to remind everybody, this is a supplement to help the bees cleanse their hives and be productive. It's for a health supplement for the bees. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But it just happens to have a nasty side effect that the varroa mite just does not like. So.
Yeah. So that's a see. He doesn't put that out on his regular channel. Because just like he did with Apis Biologics, he tests stuff for a long time before he'll come out and say, yep, it works or don't work or whatever. However, he put the numbers down on what he's getting and how long it's been in there. And you heard him say that that's the same as I get with oxalic acid vaporization. So, take it for what it's worth. All I know is I've had good results with it. Todd, I believe you've had good results with it. Yep. Ian seems to be having good results with it so far. He put some in, well, early. I don't know if he put some earlier in the year, but I don't know how many colonies or anything like that. I know he put some in over the winter, right, in a couple colonies and had that big mite drop.
Yeah, he had him in the shed.
Yeah, he had him in the building still. Yep. So, some people out there will naysay it or whatever, but all I know is everybody that I get tons of messages. Even I had somebody say he put him on the thing and he went back and checked and his hive beetles, just like I said, reduced. There was less. So take it for what it's worth. Keep your bees how you want to keep them, but Randy says he has great results with the tablets, so I like them myself. You put them on, set it and forget it. Isn't that what old Ron Popeil used to say? Ron Popeil, when he had that like new wave oven, you just set it and forget it.
That's forget
it. And then, mine, I was surprised how much they consume. So I need to really put some feed on them if they're eating it up like that. But it's, is what it is. It just, You know, you don't have to believe me. You don't want to. Just try them out. Get a couple colonies, try them out, see if you like them. If you don't buy them again. If it works, buy them again. That's pretty much how I do my whole beekeeping. Well, that didn't really do nothing. I ain't buying that no more.
That's why I say leave your eyes and ears.
Yep, that's it.
You know, do your own experiments. Don't
Yep.
you know, don't necessarily trust everyone. Not everything, you know, is always accurate. So.
Yep, that's true. You don't even have to buy them from me. I appreciate them if you buy them from me, but there's other people that sell them besides me. So Todd sells them.
I sell them, yes, sir.
If you don't want to buy them from Todd, buy them from Man Lake. Buy them from
yeah.
Well, don't buy them from Man Lake. Buy them directly from the company if you don't want to buy them from me.
Yeah, that's
you know.
Hey, you know, Mamet's in Turkey. I tried calling him today because of the news I heard last night from Bill up at Shenandoah Bee Company or Bee Supply. So I called Mamet to kind of get some info, and he didn't know what he didn't hear anything about that. Bill's info was his supplier.
Yeah, his supplier is a piece of shit, bro. I know who. Excuse my phrase, but I know who his supplier is.
Yeah,
The
so
supplier does not have a, like, you can't just go there and buy stuff. He only sells bee supplies to bee supply stores. So,
well, this guy told Bill to immediately stop selling Appy tablets.
Yep. You know why he said it? He said that who was it?
The EPA?
It wasn't the EPA. It was the state bee inspector came through.
Oh, okay. Well,
see, when you hear the story tomorrow, it's going to be something else with it. So
oh yeah, it's
always changing.
So the thing,
I got the text months ago from Mamet asking me about it when it happened. I was like, well, who is it?
So Mamet's wife called me back because Mamet's in Turkey, and it was an internet call, and he couldn't really hear everything. So I basically repeated it to her, and she had a good point. She made up she brought up a really good point. So the EPA is not even involved in the Appy tablet. Period. End of story. The reason why is because the bees eat it. So who does that fall under? The good old FDA.
Right.
So the EPA has no problem with anything that bees eat. You know.
Right.
So, anyway, that's Bill had said something last night about the EPA. My ears went up. I'm like, huh? What?
Yeah.
But Todd, when you said that last night about believing what you hear and what you see, my dad used to always tell me all my life,
believe none of what you hear, only half of what you see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see.
You know, I believe
what you see isn't what it is.
I believe the power of observation is pretty powerful. So if you're looking at your colonies and they look really good, well, then there's a darn good chance that whatever you're doing is doing that. So
right,
you know, and whatever it is.
That's, you know, I know there's a backstory to that. If you want to know the backstory, here's the backstory. And Todd can verify this, and I can verify this. Mamet will actually front you product.
Yep.
So he fronted this supplier some product, and then the supplier never paid him.
Oh.
Then Mamet will call you back, say, hey, how many have you sold? Right. Well, this guy sold them all to his stores that buy from him, but then he never paid him. So then when Mamet did want his money, then the supplier sent out an email to stop selling them, destroy them, all kinds of stupid stuff, right? So it's like, you know, it's
what a moron.
And Mamet, I'll be honest with you, Mamet is challenging to work with for me. However, he hasn't lied to me.
Nope, he's honest.
I mean, I mean, he's probably sent over a pallet worth of tablets down here, right? And then Todd, he sent you a pallet.
Correct.
I mean, so it's interesting. Beekeeping from the supplier end, and I can't speak for all of them, but just the ones that I've dealt with, boy, is it a lot of backstabbing and that stuff, man. It's kind of crazy. But just for the backstory. Hey, Philip, good to see you, buddy. But yeah, I mean, so there's all kinds of things, but let me see, what did Carl say? JW's already more qualified in my book.
Sorry, guys, I got to get my chicken in the stove or in the oven here.
Chicken.
Yeah, I'm making crispy Caesar chicken, so I got to get it moving. The oven's ready, and the carrots are already going in there.
You should do a whole series, man.
Hey,
Cooking with Todd.
come
There
in,
you go.
come in from the bee yard, and let me show you a thing.
That's it. You probably would have more subs that are putting cooking stuff out.
Oh man, yeah, I
I'd
probably will.
probably get hungry.
I'm starving right now. That's why I'm moving fast. Otherwise, I wouldn't be moving this fast. And I have my tacos for lunch.
There's Mr. Mark Miller. Mark's probably out on the road. He probably don't have time to come in tonight.
I think if I didn't show up at the taco stand or the taco place every day,
They'd call 911.
they'd call the police. They definitely would.
Let's see, we haven't seen Todd in a couple days. Last time he was here was Tuesday at noon.
You got to go to his house and do a welfare check.
Then make sure his tacos are okay.
Oh man, yeah. No, he has the best chicken in town. I get chicken tacos every time, and they're 99 cents, and they're street tacos. They're the small tortillas, but the ladies, they put an extra spoonful of chicken and beans and onions and cilantro on there for me, so I get a good deal. It's worth it.
99 cents. You can't beat that.
No, you can't. That's like $4 for lunch, and it fills you up too. Or at least fills me up.
Mark's been extracting honey, he said.
There you go.
Look who we got. He's making his rounds through the interwebs of live stream beekeeping chats.
Who?
Popcorn Charlie, everybody.
Charlie.
What's up, Charlie?
Hey, Todd.
Look at my mess behind me. I got a mess.
Oh, you haven't seen a mess. That
We're going to be talking about feeding and different ways of feeding and making syrup. And I'm taking everything I got with me to the meeting Thursday night. From the 55-gallon drum all the way down to the quart jar.
all I got to do is. I wonder if I could get like a motor oil transfer pump, just a small one, and transfer it from buckets to jars easily that way.
Hey, Barry. Kimberly.
Probably could, Bob.
Larimore.
Well, you might not seen my video, Bob, but this is what I use. I got the big pump for making.
Right.
Just right here, transfer it from one thing to another.
How many gallons per minute is that? 2 or 3?
I think it's like 4.5.
Get that from Tractor Supply.
No, I ordered this off Amazon. It's an RV pump, what it is. But it'll pump regular water about 20 seconds per gallon. But when you make that like 1-to-1, it may take like 10 seconds longer, and 2 to 1, it'll probably get like 35, 40 minutes, something like that. That's still not bad.
35 or 40 minutes for how many gallons?
Sorry, seconds.
Okay.
35, 40 seconds per gallon. But
that's pretty good. That's about
but
100.
I use this. I can pump it out of the drum, or I can pump it out of a 5-gallon bucket or whatever, and put it right into the feeder.
How much something like that run, Joey?
I'd have to look it up. I'm gonna guess maybe $40.
Oh, that's not bad.
40, $50, something like
That's
that.
cheap.
And
Well, Joey, that mixer you got there, you should have it to where you should have
a regular hose and use this thing. That's what
on
a
that
5/8
on your
hose.
mixing machine. Don't you have a port there to make that pump that stirs it to pump it out of there?
Yeah, I've got a.
Hey, James, good to see you.
It's a Chinese one.
It's made with only the best Chinesium.
Yeah, that's the reason I got this one. It'll pump down to like a 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. You don't have a lot left in there when you're using this to stir it. And I can do a minimum. I can put 2.5 gallons of water in there and then add the sugar to it and mix it up.
So that's a trash. That's a trash pump.
Basically, yeah. This is a trash pump, and that's a transfer. The first one I showed you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All right, so you got a trash pump in your mixing thing, and then the other pump that you showed us is a transfer pump.
Yeah, the trash pump's in this.
Right. Well, I mean, most guys they got that valve in there, and they'll put another valve where they can hook a hose up.
That's what I
Your
got.
trash pump will pump out of that 55-gallon drum into buckets or whatever.
That's it right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Got the cutoff valve in the middle and the transfer valve on the side.
All right, on the top of it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing it going across the
well, this is in the way.
No, I mean, I'm used to seeing where they have a valve on where the red valve is. They'd have another valve there where they would, divert the fluid out the hose.
Well, this is the diverter, and this is the one that shoots it out of.
Okay.
Well,
a lot of people put both of them right here, and that's just extra fitting. So I just put it right here on the T instead of putting an LB right here, and then another T here. I just put the T here. So when I turn this down, it pumps it out here.
Right.
Got a nice little setup.
Yeah, I figured I'd take it with me and show everybody how it works.
James, tell the 4-H'ers we said hey.
Yep. Yeah, that setup that you got, Joe, is pretty much a kind of a standard idea across the board.
Yeah. Well, it's got a little bit of what you got. It's got a little bit of what 3 or 4 other people got. It's kind of put it all those ideas and just kind of.
Well, with mine, I don't know. That's what I've been doing. I did it late this evening, and yesterday evening I made up 80 gallons.
And see if I want to mix with hot water. I got my hot water faucet hooked up right here to this hose, and just put hot water in the drum.
Yeah. I heat like I said, I did 2 batches. Yesterday evening, I installed my pump tank in the back of my truck, and then I did a batch of sugar water, and then lunchtime, I guess it was, I mixed up some Apis, threw that in there and stirred it in, and then pumped it over into the the pump tank for my truck, and then I made up another batch this evening, let it dry or let it cool down. And the Apis that I opened up last year this time is perfect. just like you said, Bob, you seal that bag up good. I put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer. It's been in the freezer since this time last year when I got done. I opened it up today at lunchtime. I got my little bee blender out, and it's perfectly nice, bright yellow powder inside. And I got my set of what do you call them? Kitchen spoons, I guess you call them, and measuring cups. And I pulled out a little tablespoonful, just slightly, rounded up slightly to give it me 17 grams. And right on the mixing spoon says right there, 15 is either milliliters or not what is it? Yeah, is it milliliters? 15, yeah. Milligrams. And it's actually for liquid milliliters, but milliliter and 1 milliliter and 1 gram are basically the same thing. So, and I had it written right in front of me, but like I say, I got it all calculated out, threw it in a blender and blended it up with the 3/4 of a cup or of a quart jar of water. And then I just poured it in my, in the sugar mix and let it blend it in there. Worked out great.
David's asking, David, I do have a video on that. It's a few months back, but I do have one on it.
Under to 110 pounds per hive this year, he said.
It's just terrible amount of honey. That's the sorriest crop I ever heard of.
He's doing something wrong. I don't know what.
He said he's still got 6,000 more pounds to extract out. It's crop failure this year. Let's see.
But no, well, I guess it was my original bag. The mouse, I laid it in the basement, and a mouse chewed a hole in it, and I just kind of stapled it up. And I guess, well, the air got to it. It was kind of brownish looking, but I still used it. It still worked on the Apis. And then this year, like I say, I took care of it the proper way with the freezer, like Bob said, and man, it works perfect.
So I got a package from Met today. I ordered some stuff last week. Got some Viagra.
You got Charlie's Viagra?
Yeah, Viagra.
Is it blue?
No, the yellow one. Viagra. Come on. This one.
What was the price on that?
So on his website, it's $19.99, right? And I bought one, but he gave me this one too. I didn't know it. I just opened the box. I just opened the package.
What's it called? What?
Beeneral. Beeneral. Yeah. So
Beeneral.
So that's for the urinal or what?
More urinal cakes.
You're on a roll, Charlie.
Jumping back off subject a second, right quick. Oh, I thought you were through.
No.
I didn't show you. This is what I use on the pump when I use that other pump, the transfer pump. This goes down into that barrel. And when I'm just taking a bucket out, I use this one. It's a little shorter. It goes right down into the lid of a bucket. I forgot to show you that.
Hey, Doug.
I got a hole in a bucket right here and just put that down in the bucket. Pump it in there. That way I don't have to carry nothing from the truck. All right, back to what you was talking about.
All right, now when you go out to the field with your truck, what kind of you just have a 55-gallon drum in the back of your truck or what?
That's what I say. I can take the drum or I can take it in 5-gallon buckets and pump it in.
So you have a second drum that you pump out of that mixing drum.
I can do it that way too. Yeah.
Well, how do you get your drum in their pickup truck when it's loaded? That's a lot of weight.
Well, I would have to actually mix it into that inside the truck or on a trailer if I did it 55 gallons, but I never have to take that amount.
Okay.
My biggest yard only has
25, 30 hives maybe. And I'm
Well,
not
there's
gonna feed 'em.
40-something gallons right there.
Yeah, but I don't feed them all at one time. I might feed half of them one day, another half the next day.
We
Okay.
got 87 people watching and only 23 thumbs up.
Ain't that something?
I got to do that.
That's the first thing I did.
I forgot. All right, there you go.
All right, now I've overstepped everybody.
I'm sorry, Todd. Go ahead with what you were saying.
For
Back
me?
to- yeah,
Yeah,
with the-
Oh,
your Viagra.
there,
I kinda
the
interrupted you.
Viagra. So it's you can mix the Viagra into syrup, and then I believe the Bienerol is the one for pollen patties. Although Mamet's wife said that I can interchange those. So I've got to figure out what's for what. But it supposedly helps with immunity.
Your
Helps
B vitamins.
B vitamins, promotes healthier colonies resulting in honey production and better honey quality. These products have been in Turkey for a long time, in Europe for a long time. So we brought them over here. But there's a list of all kinds of things in there. Manganese, iron, zinc, copper, iodine, cobalt, selenium, potassium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, magnesium sulfate, monocalcium phosphate, and of course sugar, which this happens to be beet sugar. And it's 835,000 milligrams of beet sugar. And
Well, while we're on that subject, beet sugar's okay, right? I think Brad said so.
Brad
Yeah.
says it's actually
better. It's
Better.
better than granulated tin.
Well, I got my forklift out and I had a pallet of 50-pound bags of sugar on there, and I'm walking around it, because they had it saran wrapped all the way around, stretch wrap. Here's this darn paper sitting there. It says beet sugar. I'm like, really? And it has a pink label. Then it says it's great for vegans or something like that. I said, okay, well, that makes them real happy people. And all that stuff. But then it doesn't. And then I went and got an old bag of my other stuff, which is a different color. It's green, same company. And it says, it's got a, what do you call it? A product label on there. It says content sugar. It doesn't say white cane sugar or something like that. Now this new bag, it don't have nothing on it. It just says great for vegans. So, or whatever. So anyway, yeah, it got mixed today. It looked like white sugar to me. So
Talk about mixing. My creamer is going right now with a batch of pumpkin spice. And I shouldn't say this, but I will because no one lives close to me. My next batch.
nobody listens to you either, so it probably won't make a difference. But go ahead.
That's true. Thanks a lot, Bob. I'll make sure to send you a Christmas present late. The other batch that I'm going to start up here in another couple of weeks is buttered rum.
Thanks, Rick. Buttered rum.
Yes, sir. Yep. So, as soon as
I've
Brian gets
still got these sitting here. I've
Yes,
got the buttery cinnamon roll that I haven't done yet, and the chocolate donut.
well,
I just haven't had time.
as soon as Brian gives me his recipe for buttered rum, I'll be making it. So, which I'm sure he doesn't have. I haven't seen it. I thought it up today.
I need to go ahead and make a Kraken cream, just like a micro Kraken, so I can send Ian and some Tanqueray creamed honey for Brad.
I'm really giving a hard look to going up there in February.
I want to.
take your parka.
Yeah. I'm not bringing my short pants. That's for sure.
Brad picked me up at the airport wearing shorts in February.
when it comes to cold
When
weather,
you threw it up there on them videos, Bob, I'm like, good Lord.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? I had such a great time up there.
Look like it.
Yeah, it's amazing. For me, I would have moved. If I could have found a place at that time, I would have moved.
I don't think I could deal with the winters.
Well, they don't either. They stay inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Isn't there a song like that?
Yes.
Not a
Somebody
song.
The
used
problem is,
to say
don't
that.
they have, what is it they have? Like Brad talks about them mosquitoes or bugs or whatever is up there in the summertime. They eat you up. Is it the black flies?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
They don't have those bot flies because I don't feel like picking those out of my arms. You ever seen those?
Yeah. I know that folks like around the Great Lakes, there's these black flies up there that eat you up. Can hardly stand to go outside.
Like a
In
blowfly?
In the African continent, I don't know where. I think it's even in Australia. They have flies that will land on you and they'll lay eggs under your skin or something. I don't know. But
Yeah, I've heard about that.
basically, you pull them out of there. They look like wax moth larvae, and they get real big. And so that's a tiny little hole, but they pull that thing out of you, and it's 3 or 4 times wider than the hole. And I'm like, no thanks. you can keep your bugs.
That sounds a lot like the wolves we used to have in the cattle around here.
Mm.
I know JW knows something about all that.
I thought James was going to say that he was still extracting that honey out there. I was going to have him pop in and tell us about his new setup he had this year up there.
Yeah, Roy talks about them black flies up there around Michigan. I heard about them.
The black flies will carry you away. The
Yeah.
bot fly, yeah.
Bot fly.
Well, they're 2 different things: a bot fly and a black fly.
Does anybody else have a problem with like fruit flies in their honey house? No? Maybe just me. I'm the only one? Okay.
Every now and then I get them bad in our kitchen in the house, and we have to set one of those. My wife will fix those jars up where they'll get trapped in there.
Yeah, I did that. I just set one up last week. So
Talking about other kind of insect, Mr. Ed talks about it all the time, and the guy that used to have the
we're getting
club we
stink.
all went to talked about the love bugs. When the love bugs comes in September, it means the honey flow is coming too. I don't know how they connected that. I don't know if it's a coincidence. It just happened to be same time of year or what. But we got the love bugs around here now.
We're getting those little stink bugs this time of year down here. I don't know how they get in, but they find a way. Get in the house.
Hey, don't forget to give a shout out to Daisy's Honey. Oh, dinner's ready. Crap. Hey,
I gave a shout out to Daisy's Honey. Oh, so last night I went to sleep, of course, because I got to get up, and I heard this crazy noise that kind of woke me up. And look at this.
There's you another one.
All right, thanks, Robert. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's see if I can show this. You see that? You see my mailbox, right? You see what's on the other side of the street?
Yeah, it's upside down car.
Were they driving real fast trying to get some of your honey?
I don't know.
They got some of his hot honey and they lost control because it was burning his mouth.
I imagine if that was the young lady that was driving, there was probably a phone and a text message involved in there.
Is that a
because
young
that
lady?
is a straight road. There is no curves.
Oh,
So,
I see this so much when I go by people. They got that phone up in front of them like this driving their car. That scares me to death.
Is that a woman or some guy in shorts?
that's a woman.
She's beefy looking.
She's beefy looking. That's what the kids call thick nowadays. She's thick.
Yeah, it's like I went out for some music Sunday evening, so I stopped in at Walmart, and it was up in Pennsylvania, and so there was like 4 state cops there in front of Walmart, and so I go on in, and here comes this gal with her hands behind her back, and I could tell she had some bracelets on, and here comes the state police guy. He's pushing her 2 shopping carts behind her, going out the door. And then they had some young gal. She was, well, when I went around to get parked in the parking lot, you could tell she had bracelets on.
That's close the stuff down. Hey, look who we got here.
You know, if those ladies were pointing at the camera,
Hey, Brad.
the Walmart camera, they might have made it out of there alive.
How's it sound? Sound okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
look-
Perfect.
well, I would say you look good, but you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
You got haircut.
If I look good, it's deceiving because I feel like hell.
Don't worry, Brad. He insulted me too.
You can't insult your friends. Who can you insult?
That's right.
I might get a pair of them bracelets if I insult the wrong person. What we got going on, Brad?
Well, we're just finishing the day. My wife is paling up the honey out of the melter here.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like there's just a melter there. I don't see
Well,
it.
she's
There's
the
no
other side of the
pail.
room, prepping the next
Brad
pail.
looks like he's melting.
But I've kind of shut down extracting for the day. Well, let me give you a tour.
No
Let me give
demonstration.
you a tour.
There she
Sorry.
is. Hey, Carol.
There's my sweet wife right here.
Hi.
Hey.
She doesn't like to get bees in her hair, so she wears that. So I'm actually using my eye lifter in here because I got 300 deeps to lift up to my uncapper here. And so I just set a pile of boxes and I'll set 2 deeps here, and then I'm still feeding it by hand. I haven't got my deboxer installed.
I thought you weren't a girly man, Brad.
I'm not a girly man. So then my old uncapper, I've got it. I don't know. Let me show you. There's a little steamer over here. A little steam kettle there heats the knives.
Same steamer I've
And,
got.
I just send that out a hole in the wall outside to get rid of the steam. And then I got my Maxent Senior wax spinner. Everything from the uncapper goes into the wax spinner, and I can work, a normal day with just doing that, and then I clean it out in the morning. I'll let it run a long time to get as much honey out as I can. And again, I don't have a good system yet. I have a little sump that I need to hook up here, and I need another pump. So I've just got a pail, and I'll just gate that into a pail, and then I dump it into my old extractor here, my old Kelly 33. So I've got that full of frames ready to spin now, but I'm not going to spin it right now because we're up to capacity. So these are the boxes. These are the frames that come out of the extractor. And let's see. It's hard for me to make sure you're in frame. So this is the sump, and it's right full. So the extractor empties into the sump, and those baffles they clean the wax out pretty good. They get a lot of wax out. Really, what it does is it protects the pump. The little 1-inch pump can't really put up with a lot of wax, so it pumps the honey then up and across here into the melter, and we get it nice and warm, and then strain it right into the pail. And then the pails go out the door. So we'll likely have about 200 pails by the time we're done. So that's what's going on.
So right now, what's your best guesstimate on how much honey you'll think you end up with?
I'm going to be right around 10,000 pounds. Yeah,
That's a lot. That's like 3,300 pounds a colony, because you only got 3 colonies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Out of 3 colonies, I want to have 4 because I have that bonus colony, which is doing really great, by the way. Yeah. So that's what's going on. And I have a hard time seeing things close, so I have to hold it away. I see Joey up there in the middle. Hey, Joey. Hey, Charlie, and Todd is AFK.
Brian says they're making apple pie creamed honey tonight.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, sir.
I'm eating now, so I turn the camera off. But if someone, if we start exceeding the number and someone wants in, let me know and I'll drop out.
Okay. Mike, Minnesota Beekeeper, said, how old is that extractor? That's a Kelly extractor.
Well, it's probably as old as I am almost. It's pretty old. I don't know. I don't know what era that is. It's I'm sure it's 1970s. Mine Capper is too, 1970s. I think that goes back to about 1972, to be honest.
And it looks the same as the new ones.
Well, the new ones are a little different, but they're not much different. I can still buy brand new parts for that, you know.
Let me see.
I just ordered a new drive wheel for my Kelly extractor too.
They still sell those parts?
Yeah, I think there's some old stock kicking around that can still be had.
You got another super chat there,
fiber.
Bob.
It's a fiber wheel about that big that runs against that flat disc on top. It's a 3-speed.
The one that Randy McCaffrey runs is very similar to yours.
It is very similar. Yeah, that one. Does that one have a clutch?
Yeah, it's got
the wheel just moves straight across. Okay. Yeah.
It's got the lever.
That's
he
a
wasn't
Man
running
Lake
it when I was there, so.
I think it's a Man Lake or something.
Yeah, I think it is Man Lake one that he's got.
Yeah, they're very similar. Yeah, this old extractor, boy, it's a beast. It just goes. Yeah, right. And the great thing is, if anything goes wrong with it in about 30 seconds, you know exactly what's wrong with it. And in about 20 minutes, you got it fixed. Right?
It's kind of like an old car.
Yeah, it's like an old car. I got a question for Joey, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't want to say, but and I'll tell you why I asked, because I've got a bunch of those myself, and I can't think of a good use for them. What's in the coffee mate containers in the corner?
Oh, that's what I put all my when I collect Burcomb and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
After the bees drop it out, I just kind of punch it down in there. When it gets full, I just stick it in the freezer.
They look familiar because that's exactly what I buy, and I'm thinking those are good containers.
Yeah,
but I can't really think of a good use for them.
Well, on my little scale, they work good to keep cappings in and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I do use some of them. I keep grafting cups in them. I keep my queen cages in them. So it's very handy. So anyway, thanks.
Charlie, did you see the comment on the screen?
Yeah, I'm typing it in.
Well, tell us. It's a good topic.
It's a good topic. Okay, Tom and Melissa, did you
produce a little more honey with the Demaree method this year?
Oh yeah, I've been doing it for the last couple of years, and yes, you'll probably. I'll say you kind of double your honey production. Number one, and the second benefit out of it is the fact that you will not have any swarming. Now, the way I do my Demaree, it's more work to it. I pull the cap brood. I try to find the frames that are pretty much 100% cap, so they can't make any queen cells. Pull them out of the bottom box or the bottom two boxes. Like I have two mediums, and I put them in the top medium and then put in empty comb for the queen to lay. And she keeps laying and all that. And then I just keep putting, of course, the two mediums, or let's say a deep, you're going to put your queen excluder on, put your honey supers on, and all that. And that's how you do it. And then you just keep cycling your brood to the top. Now, the other way of doing Demaree is like Bob done it, where you put in a frame of brood, open brood, put the queen in the bottom, and give her all this, let's say maybe some food and pollen. And then she has a whole box in the bottom to lay up. And then you bring everything upstairs. And then you have to go back after 7 days and kill all the queen cells or harvest them. And like that. Now, it says you had less production colonies this year, right? Yeah, I lost about 50% of my production colonies as far as dead outs. And the rest of them that came through, the darn queens were so darn old that they were laying drone cells throughout. So they were running out of gas as far as, sperm and that kind of stuff. So what did I do? I went and I had my nukes that I have and that I sell. They were all spoken for. So I had to sell them. It's more of a wash for this year when it comes to selling nukes. I went ahead and bought some more nukes from down there at Kudix. I bought queens from down at Kudix, and the ones that had had queens still in them, I pulled the queens, hive tool test them. New queens came about 5 days later. I went through every hive, every frame, killed all the queen cells. And then I installed the mated queen in there. And then by doing that, you increase your queen acceptance, because they do not have anything there that's young enough to make any kind of queen cells and all. So yes, I've got 16 production colonies, but maybe, I don't know. I guess maybe I had 12 out of the 16 were actually had boxes on them as far as honey boxes go. Some of those brand new nukes that I got in, I had enough comb so they didn't have to build any comb in the brood chamber. And I do have honey supers that are drawn and everything. So they don't have to, make wax for the most part. And they filled them all up. And we seem to have a pretty good flow, even though it was dry this year. And we had a flow it went later. It went into like the middle of July, which normally by the 1st of July, 4th of July at the latest, it's all over with, but not this year. So yeah, I did more honey this year than I did last year. Last year I had like 975 pounds. This year I had 1,010 pounds, I think it was, of honey. So for me, it's quite good. What do we got here? Creamed honey.
That's Doug's creamed honey. I like his jars. You see, it's got the hexagon on the glass there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice label. I really like that label because it's got the bees, but it looks like it's been altered a little bit, like on the wings, and it's a good looking jar. Good looking jar of honey. Let's say Canada #1 white. I like that. thought I would share it with everybody. So in case anybody's watching and you're on Facebook and you're a Facebook kind of person, we do have a No Life Beekeeping chat Facebook page group, if you will. And you're welcome to come join us over there as well. A lot of posts go on in there.
Whew.
You full now? Get your fill?
I'm about as happy as a seagull with a French fry right about now. That's how full I am.
Seagull with the French fry.
Whatever that
Look, you know what? Nobody said anything tonight. I actually started right on time. 8 o'clock. Actually, a little bit early because it's 9:25 and I started at an hour and 26 minutes ago. Sawmill Charlie, we still need a restaurant for Nobby. Cracker Barrel.
Waffle House.
I don't think there's a Waffle House around there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope I don't put a queen excluder underneath the top box. I mean, if you had a virgin up there, she can get through that queen excluder. As far as I know, if she's small enough.
Well, when I watched Lawrence from Black Mountain Honey when he did the Demaree. That's when I first did it a few years ago, and I haven't done it since. I will say that, but yeah, he just took one frame of brood and the queen and 9 foundations in that bottom box. So
I think the big thing with that is if you only have foundation in a bottom box, is that you're going to have a very strong flow in order for
and see, I don't have strong flows like that, so that could be one of the issues I had with it. One day maybe I'll get that Canadian. What do they call it? A Colorado low. Maybe we'll get the Canadian high honey flow one day.
Colorado low? No, Colorado low is not a good thing at all.
Let me see.
Well, the big, when back to the Demaree thing, I always had problems with swarming. If you have a swarm in the middle of the honey flow, you're done. You've lost it. And I found doing this Demaree, when you completely prevent a swarm and you keep building your workforce up more and more, it helps bring in more honey. So that's why I do
it. I think there should be a taco stand at Nobby too. That's just me. And apparently Roy too.
That'd work for me.
Hey, Mike, that's what I have, an ET Eco Tank printer and the Avery labels. That's what I use. So, at least to this point, maybe not in the future. If I ever get consistent on what jars I'm using and all that, where I can definitely know I'm going to use, this is going to be my jar, right? Then I might get some printed. But yeah, I've got a EcoTank 4850. Now, what they don't tell you when you buy an EcoTank printer is that it cleans itself regularly. Because if you've ever used an old inkjet printer, if you don't use it for a while, that ink will plug up the jets, right? So with the EcoTank, it's got a tank where the cleaner, when it's cleaned, goes into. And once that's filled, you have to replace that. But when you buy it, you don't know that, right? They don't tell you. So make sure if you're going to get one of those, I've actually got a spare one, but I haven't had to use it yet. So, but it'll tell you it's full.
Bob, do you use the 4x6 labels, or do you use the Avery where it has the 2 labels on each sheet, the sticky labels?
Are you talking about for shipping labels?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got 2 printers. I use a laser printer for my shipping labels, and I use an inkjet or the EcoTank for my honey labels.
What do you do for shipping labels?
Oh, I use just sticky.
The 4x6 or
No,
whatever?
I use the two.
Oh, okay. The Avery ones? Yeah. Okay.
Well, this is a generic one that I got off of Amazon, where you buy like 1,000 of them at a time, or 2,000 at a time. So
Yeah, Matt, you got to remember something. The frames I'm moving are brood frames. I have 2 sets of frames. I have honey frames and I have brood frames, and there's no mixing. Unlike Brad over here does. Brad uses brood frames as honey frames and everything else.
no, this year's honey frames are next year's brood frames.
Is that what it is?
Well, sort of, kind of. They do get mixed around, but I do have dedicated frames as well. You know, because in the spring, because I run the single brood chamber system, in the spring when the colonies get stronger, then just put a second box on there, and that broodness extends into the second box. And then just before honey flow, you shake them back down into the bottom box, and put the queen excluder in. So then obviously that second box, there's been brood in there. So those are going to become honey frames. So that's kind of the crossover. But then from there on, when I put more boxes on, then those are going to be clean honey frames. I don't find my honey is very light, and I don't find that the fact that those are brood frames really make any difference at all.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really segregated mine either. I just kind of, if it's in the box and they get honey in it, it becomes a honey frame. And if it's in the box and it gets brood in it, then it's a brood frame.
I'm sitting here in front of some. I've got a lot with black foundation, which I like black foundation in my brood chambers. So this is a fairly freshly drawn frame, which has not been in the brood chamber yet. But it's black foundation, so to me it's a valid one for the brood chamber. But then once it spent some time in that second box, then it can get some brood staining, if you will. That's still a nicely drawn black foundation frame. So really doesn't make a difference. I do separate them when they come out, just so that when I add the second box, I'm using these and not just running all of my nice white comb frames in the second brood chamber.
With your honey frames, what do you have? I use black foundation and everything, but do you have white foundation for honey or not?
I have a lot of white and yellow foundation, but just because it's stuff I've inherited, etc. So I try to leave that as honey frames. I don't like to have that stuff in the brood chamber. I like that black foundation in there. So those will be honey frames, and I separate everything. I'm separating into 4 categories this year. So brood frames, something that's got some staining on it, and then these, I call them clean black foundation frames. So they're good for a brood chamber because they got black foundation, but they haven't been in a brood chamber. And then I've got honey frames, which will not have black foundation, have yellow or white foundation, and no brood staining at all. And then a 4th category, anything I want to look at again. So anything that I might want to re-wax, or maybe there's a problem with it I want to fix, or whatever. So I'll just put all of that in one category on a stack of pallets, and then I can look at those early in the spring. I can go through those and rework those into something to use during an overflow.
Yeah, Matt, or okay, there's Mark's.
How do you deal with pollen in the frames when you shake bees down? I pay it no mind at all.
Now, Matt Moore's had one about 3 questions back. Frames. There we go. What about the frames that were once treated with Aprivar? Well, first thing is why are you putting them in a honey super?
No, he's saying if you had it as a brood box and then you moved it up and used it as the honey super.
Well, I wouldn't do that.
For me, if it was a frame that came out of something treated with Aprivar, I would always, well, first of all, when I used to use synthetics, I'd take a red Sharpie and I'd draw a line across the near the ends of the bars, top bars. So I identified that as something that possibly could have a synthetic chemical in it. Never use it in a honey frame or in a super.
Typically,
But in this case, if they happened, if it wasn't caught or whatever, I'd only use that for a feeding frame. I'd never harvest.
well, firstly, Alcatraz breaks down really fast. So really there's not a concern. And that's why you have that 2-week waiting period between taking the Aprivar strips out and using honey super. And typically my second box runs outside of that window. So if I'm using Aprivar in the spring, it's gone a good bit before I'm putting that second box on there. So there's no overlap in my situation.
Hey, we're talking about comb, and I can't remember if I mentioned it to everybody, but I recently ran into a problem. Early in the year, I purchased Premier frames and foundation already built, so it saved me a lot of time. And when I was going through boxes and stuff not too long ago, I noticed a pattern, and I'm not going to describe what was going on, but there was an issue with the foundation. So in a lot of frames, I mean, right now I've had a pretty high count. So I sent an email to Premier, and a day or two later, I got a reply message. They said, yes, we'll take care of it. So if you guys are on the fence about buying Premier, maybe because of the price, they're going to back their product. And I really appreciate that. There's not a lot of companies these days and these times that will do something like that. They sell it to you, you've used it, and it's already been used, and you see this problem. A lot of companies will say, well, I'm sorry. But they identified an issue in, I guess, their production anyway. And they thought that they had caught all of them, and I might have gotten a bad batch. But either way, they're gonna back it, which is just super awesome to me. And the old saying, "You get what you pay for," is very true. So, and it works both ways. If it's expensive and something like this happens, and they back it up, that's just ideal. So, kudos to Premier Bee Products and what they do. So just want to send that out there since we're talking.
My pa-in-law used to say it didn't cost but just a couple more dollars to go first class.
I wish that was still the case.
Yeah.
All right. What I'm doing is all right. I have 3 mediums. 2 mediums stay as the brood chamber. The top medium is also part of the brood chamber. And what I do is that, okay, I got the 2 mediums, queen excluder, let's say 2 honey supers. I take that 3rd brood chamber box, which is a medium, and I'll put that on above the honey supers. Now, I will bring a lot of times, I won't have enough cat brood in frames downstairs to fill that box upstairs. So I don't want them putting honey up there in that thing. I want to pull those frames out as soon as they're 95%. The bees have emerged 95% of the time. So I'm looking at them frames, usually by the time, within a week or so, they probably are they're going to emerge, or at least let's say 8 to 10 days. And I'll be taking them frames out of there because I don't want them filling them full of honey. Sometimes they'll get a little bit of honey in there, but I'll put them back down in the brood chamber. what I do to fill that box out is I will put in foundation up there, and they will draw wax out for me over a period of time. And another thing about the Demaree is when you put brood upstairs, it is like a magnet. It draws the bees through the queen excluder up to cover that brood up, and that gets them to bring in the honey through the queen excluder and depositing it in the honey supers and stuff. So that's kind of the.
It also will give you a workout. The only drawback to the Demaree is you're constantly stacking and unstacking boxes.
That's where the hive lifter comes in.
Yeah, I don't have one of those.
And I have to say, after I experimented this year and I was under supering and all that stuff, putting an empty box, let's say at the queen excluder, and then putting a full box of honey up on top of that and rearranging that situation, I found that I guess the knowledge of the pros like Brad here when it comes to being a commercial beekeeper, just go out there. If you go out there, you look at the top box. Let's say you got one honey super on there. You look at it. Okay. Maybe the outer frames might not be full. Put them in the center, and the rest of them are, let's say, full, but not capped with honey, capped honey. Put another super on top. Don't bother about shifting boxes around. They'll fill just as well, or maybe actually, I kind of thought a little bit better. Now with the Demaree, what I did find was it seemed like because the brood is upstairs and they have all them bees kind of coming up there, they will fill the 9 frames. If you have a 9-frame honey super or a 10-frame, if you're just starting out, they'll fill that out all from wall to wall or side to side. So I mean, I don't know.
I've got a question. Well, it's maybe it's not really a question. We was talking about just earlier about not moving brood frames up that have been in a box that was treated, and I get that. I get not wanting to do that, but on the same thing, you've got that frame in the bottom, and bees probably pack honey in it. And then later, when they got comb above them, they go to moving honey up. So what's the difference in having that frame moved up and them moving it up out of that frame into another frame?
Well, see, that's the beauty about the Demaree. It's all about the size of the cavity. So you want her to lay 80 to 90% of that cavity full of eggs. So now you've manipulated those bees to force them to put their stores above the queen excluder. That's how you get the increase in honey production, because they have to put it upstairs, because
you've also cleared out that brood nest where she has room to lay down there too, right?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is you want her to continually lay, but
you move frames up, right?
I move brood frames up, yes, with brood in them.
Brood frames that had been treated before, you moved them up.
Yeah.
But see, that don't matter. But if you didn't want to move frames that's been treated before up, and them little scopers move that honey up out of that frame, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's the same
that's
difference.
a good point,
Like,
that's a good
it's like
point,
riding in a car with.
That's
like
part of the
product
registration is proving that there's no residue in the honey, right? That's all been proven by the registration process.
It's kind of like riding in a car with 2 guys that's smoking marijuana. Can I say that out loud? And
yeah,
that's like,
I don't know who you ride with.
It's legal anyway. Now. It's legal. At least it is here in Maryland.
Joey riding with Cheech and Chong.
Hey,
I don't know. Look, I mean, I don't know. To me, I don't get into the fine tooth thinking about all that. I just,
Well, that's just something to think about, because that's gonna happen. Anytime they backfill for whatever reason, then they gonna move. They gonna feed some of that to bees, and they gonna move some of it up out of the way. And you've done the same thing, so sooner or later down the line, it don't really matter that much.
Right. Well, anyway,
That's
And
just
you guys
the way
must be master note takers, because I could not keep track of what frames were where, what year they were there, and did
Well,
they get.
I'm like Todd. I'd have to paint it or something, you know, to
Yeah.
know not to. I'd
Well,
have to mark it come out.
I used to take my my queen marking pens, right, and I would mark the frames on one end, and that way I just knew which alignment they were, and the color determined what year I put them in there, so how old the frame was.
I don't worry about that stuff.
Before I have my bees on the organic farm they're at now, like I said before, I just take a Sharpie and I'd go right across the frame, so I knew each one of those was, you know, had been in the box when it was treated with whatever chemical. So that's what I always did. No,
I mean, I got rid of probably 50, 60 frames this year, and they went in the trash.
even the wood.
Well, they're not wood; they're plastic.
Oh.
And I'd have to have a darn jackhammer or something, a reciprocating something or another, in order to scrape the damn wax off of it, because everybody talks about having pollen frames, and I remove tons of pollen frames because, if you have pollen going into the winter today, coming out in the springtime, they will not use that pollen because that pollen is old and it's not fresh, and it loses its, now this is scientific part of it, it loses its food value, I'll call it. And they'll go, it's like everything else. Everybody likes fresh. So they'll go out, if they got fresh pollen in, that's what they're going to come in and bring and eat. And all that pollen frame does is take up space. You can't pack no honey in it or anything else. Or
Well, we just packed 2,200 pounds for this yard. We got 2,200 pounds in the pail from this yard. That's if you're watching the videos, that's the small out yard, the one that did not have the fence, the one that had the bear trap for the longest time.
Yeah.
So we're still going though. We're going to be probably over 2,500 pounds from that yard, and the other yard, what did I get? 35. I think I got 3,500 pounds from the other out yard. So we're 6,000. 6,000 so far, and we're a little over half done to super count. So we're going to even out 10,000 or so.
That's good. What was it last year? 16?
12,000 last year. Yeah. Yeah. Last year was a very good yield. Yeah.
Well, Doug was saying earlier in the stream that he doesn't know. He said most of the people he's talked to are making less this year than they did last year, like less honey this year.
Oh yeah. Well, last year, to me, in my area, my forage last year was quite a strong yield. This year is more of an average yield, so definitely is less than last year, but it's not poor. It's quite average. I think this yard is. Oh, I did some extrapolation, and it's running about 116 pounds a colony. And I can't remember. No, that was the other out yard. The other out yard ran 116 pounds because I'm done. So this yard, I don't know how much you can do the math. It's going to be 3,000 pounds on 18 colonies. So do the math on that.
Okay, I will.
That's somewhere around 54,000, right?
Yeah, I know that Doug Lohman got, I think it was 40,000 pounds, which was down. Normally they get about 80 and all.
166 pounds a colony.
It is, that's really good. That's probably one of the strongest yields I've ever had.
It's all that hive alive you feed your bees.
That's all that hive alive. Yeah, absolutely.
If you only had a coupon code.
My bees look good. I tell you,
Yeah, they're better than dead.
better than dead.
Oh, it never
Last
gets
one?
old.
She just filled the last bale. 45,
Should've-
45 bales full in that yard so
Oh,
far.
oh, she spilled it. I thought you said she spilt it.
No, she's done.
So
She's
that's
been
your
working by herself
bottleneck,
all the
though,
time.
right? That's your
Absolutely.
bottleneck in your process.
If I
is-
just had a 200-gallon milk tank, that'd be awesome.
I know.
I thought you bought one of them.
He
I
did.
man. It's sitting in the yard. I need a pump for it. I don't have a pump, so it's kind of pointless to drag it in.
Jesus.
It's a little noisy in here. Is it causing a problem?
No.
No,
Oh, you're not.
Okay.
Can't hear it.
I was just looking at Robert posted up a bunch of different label prices. I know U printing, that's where I get my labels for my swarm lure, or U print, and depending on how many you buy, you get price breaks. So depends what you're looking for.
I don't know. I just go to Man Lake and get them printed, and I'm done.
Me too.
And
Charlie.
I ain't
I
saying
use
they're cheap at all. You know,
I
they're
use
not cheap.
Blue Sky Bee Supply. They've been doing mine for years. I order it and I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is let's see, what was it? Better Bee had the granulation label and the baby combination granulation and infant warning label. And I happened to check on their website and they happened to be on sale. And I was like, man, I saved $30, $40. I bought 50,000 of them, I think it was.
The only thing I didn't like about I usually put the weight on the sticker that I put on the back of the bottles. In Blue Sky, I wanted to get stickers for my quart jars, and all they had was like 45 ounces or 3 pounds. That's what they said. Take that back, 3 pounds. I told them, I said, I can't get 3 pounds in a jar. I don't know how y'all do that. So
I buy 3-pound jars.
no, well,
I'm
I
going to
just
drop
buy
her off,
regular mayonnaise
and then,
jars and 3
and
pounds.
I'm going to head in out. And if you guys are still on, I'll join you again in there.
Well, we got about 8 minutes.
Hey, before you jump off, Brad, now it's A-OK to use beet sugar, right?
It's A-OK to use beet sugar.
Yeah, because I was telling these guys earlier that I got the pallet of sugar on the forklift, and I walked around the front of it, and here's this paper, underneath the saran wrap, stretch wrap, and it says beet sugar. I'm like, really? I thought I was buying cane sugar. But there's 40 gallons.
It's more like nectar. It's C3 sugar, so it's more like nectar than it is than cane sugar is.
Well, that's good.
So you can use beet sugar?
Actually,
there you go.
Brad says beet sugar is actually better than cane sugar.
Yeah, really?
No, I didn't say that. I said if you're going to draw a distinction, you've got to choose beet sugar because it's more like nectar than it is than cane sugar is. Cane sugar is a C4 sugar. Nectar is C3 sugar, which is beet sugar is C3 sugar. But to the bees, there's no difference.
Cool.
I'm just saying, if you're going to draw a difference, then you're going to have to go with beet sugar.
Well, all I can say is
Okay.
is when I seen that, that's the first thing I thought of you. I said, what did he say about this? So, all right, that's cool.
All right, we're going to shut down for the evening.
All right,
I was
go
going
ahead.
to show this to Roy.
Okay.
This is what I used.
Hey,
for my
Brad.
quartz. And you can't get 3 pounds in these.
You can't?
No, it's just 3 ounces shy.
Yeah, that's a quart jar. Quart jars, you'll get 2 point whatever. Yeah, you're right on that.
But so I just get a label without the weight on it, and I write the weight if I need to put the weight. So
I've never had anybody ask me
Hey, that jar is only 47.12 ounces, Bob. Where's the rest of it?
Where's the rest of my honey?
Where's
0.3.
give me my 4 ounces, man. Give it to me. I need 4 more ounces.
So
That's
all
the-
the one going.
Mayonnaise jars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mayonnaise jars. That's what
Case
they're
Well, that's
called.
like the
from
lady.
restaurant.
It's like the lady, she brings me a half-gallon mason jar, and I can get 5 pounds, 5.775 pounds in it, not quite 6 pounds. And I've tried to get 6 pounds, and you just can't. It just didn't, just the way it is.
Just trying
But
to
she's
see how much those jars are.
But she buys, I don't know, probably
Have
60.
you looked at a case of mason jars lately? It's like $20-something.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
No way. Can't do it.
So, Alex, have you transported your honey?
Oh yeah, it's sold.
You got it? You made it there and back with the Camaro
You don't see his,
No, my dad let me use his minivan.
minivan?
you don't see his big gold necklace. He sold all that honey.
No, it's going towards the repairs of my car.
When you say small colony, what are you talking about? Is it a nuke and you put a full tablet on it? That could happen. Should
Yeah. You can't
break
put
it
a
in
full
half
tab on a
if you're
nuke.
putting it on a nuke.
There, I heard something about abscons the other day, and now I can't remember it, but it's something I never heard before. I'll remember it.
But
I guess-
usually when mine have abscond, the problem is you never know why.
Yeah.
Because when I go back and I notice that they've absconded, usually by that time it's got wax moss or something in there, right? And then you're like, well, was it the wax moss that ran them out? Or was it something else? I don't know. And I've had them before using the Appy tablet and after. So I can't really say that the Appy tablet has made them abscond. I get absconds usually after the honey flow. After I've robbed them, that's usually when I get it.
Yeah, I don't think wax moths would have pushed them out. I've actually found old colonies that have been sitting there for years. One half would be a little strong little 3 frames of bees, and the other half would be all wax moth damage, but they don't push them out if they totally take
All right,
it
so
over.
Robert says it's clean as a whistle, all but emerging bread. So that means you didn't have any eggs. You're telling me this. No eggs, no larvae. All you had was cat brood. That queen shut down a long time ago.
Either that or they ran her around to make her stop laying and left the hive because of some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But an Appy tablet, I've never, I've put it on probably 100 colonies by now. I never had one abscond.
Yep. Well, I
Especially
pulled
with 6 to 8 frames of bees.
Yeah, this past weekend I pulled my Formic Pro off, and everybody got a tablet. Nukes and everybody.
On a sidebar, we were talking about quart jars. I donated 1 quart jar and 2 1-pounders to the gal who lost her husband a month and a half ago. They're doing some fundraising. There was an organization that saw her story. Well, anyway, they needed live auction items, and right now the quart jar is at $50, and the 2 1-pounders are at $25. Like, damn! I wish I could get those prices. Where are those people? They need to live closer to me.
Let me see. I had somebody from New York order a bottle of honey that I shipped out today off the website. It's funny because I have a lot of people ask me, can I order your honey online and you ship it? So I put it on my website. So whenever somebody says that, I just give them my website and they go. Nobody has ordered any honey off the website except for this one person one time. It's weird.
Well, it's New York. That's why. They're used to high prices up there.
Now I went to Bob Benny's website. Nothing against Bob. So Bob, if you're listening,
I doubt he's listening.
But I wanted to try some of that.
Sourwood.
Yeah, and sourwood honey, and so I got on there. I started ordering it, and the postage was like $30 to California, and I said, man, I think it was $20 a jar, and then I mean, is it like $50? And I just didn't do it.
I try to tell people that when they ask about ordering honey, I said, well, that's the problem, right? If you're ordering 1 pound of honey, the shipping on 1 pound of honey is as much as the pound of honey. So if you're going to do that, order multiple pounds that can go in the same box, and it won't, your shipping doesn't go up as much.
I think I sold one of my doctors bought some from me. He's in New Orleans, and I think the shipping cost me just a little over $10 to ship a 1 pound bottle. I told him to get a little bit more, and I just bring it to him.
What's he going to do? Sell it for allergies?
I had no, that's actually the second person. I had somebody local order honey from my website and pay the shipping, and they were literally 5 miles away from me. So I just loaded it up in my truck and drove it over there and set it on their porch.
Did you keep the delivery money?
Heck yeah, I did. Gas ain't free.
That was gas money.
I just told them next time, come over and get it. I do charge a little bit more for my honey online because they're going to pay with a credit card, and the credit card's going to charge me, right? So,
well, there's nothing wrong with being paid for delivering it. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
But what time is it?
It's 10.
7 o'clock.
All right, guys. Well, we've been going for 2 hours
and 2 minutes,
and almost 2 hours and 3 minutes. I started early. You got to give me credit. I'm always late, so I'm on time today. I'm taking the victory.
Yeah, sorry I came in till late.
Hey,
I was busy.
No problem.
You did pretty good on the super chats too.
I did. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Let me name those people off. Of course, Steve and Rick. Thank you, Rick. And Robert. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. And David Hoskins. Appreciate you as well. Thank you for helping support the channel. I appreciate all you guys. And gals. I always say guys. I use it as a generic term. I'm not using it for gender or anything. Just everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. And we will see you on the next live stream. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Heidi ho.
Heidi ho.